Okay, ciao everybody. Welcome back to the Bianconerizone live show. Today is the deadline day show. My name is Julian Gennatti, and I will be going solo today. Pretty sure Alejandro's sick, and Justin, I'm not sure. Maybe he can't cope with the big L that he took yesterday. As my colors show, Canada did win 2-0 against the USA yesterday in CONCACAF World Cup qualifying, so that's why I have my colors on. But this is a Juventus show, so we're going to talk about Juventus and everything that happened because it was I'm not going to say it's been a crazy week. Sorry, my dog's also impatient and pretty he's got a little anxiety problem, so he might pop up on my legs pretty soon. Anyway, we got a packed show because we're going to go through all of the signings, incoming, outgoing, all that stuff, all the figures that were involved, where we stand as a club going forward, including going forward in the Champions League, free agents and whatnot. We have all that stuff going on still. I got some pictures for you to see, and we'll go over that together. And we will get into the chat a bit. Obviously, we'll get into the chat because that's what makes the conversation flow. So we'll get into some talk first. We'll say Dambarile. Credit to Cherubini and Arriva Bene. We added pieces to the puzzle that we were missing. It's time to show that on the field. Exactly. All the stuff off the pitch is done now. It was done about 2 hours ago at least. And now it's up to Allegri and the guys that they brought in and the guys that have stayed. The guys that couldn't get sold. And we'll get to them shortly because there's some pieces of dead wood that did not move over this month, the winter mercato. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but in the summer, it's got to get done. Just the fact that three pieces went out, and 2 of them being incredibly important pieces going out, in terms of dead wood, that's a W. So good job to Arriva Bene, Cherubini, and all the management involved. Then we'll move on to Edgar Mulamula, who also said Arriva Bene and Cherubini have done their part. Over to you, Allegri. Yeah. So, without further ado, let's get into our first. Marino seems to like Alejandro. I just said, if you've paid attention from the start, I think he's ill. So that's why I'm running the show today by myself, solo. Actually, you know what? Since there's already 40 people watching, like the video, subscribe to the channel, obviously. We're almost at 2,300, which is crazy. There's a Dennis Zakaria Coach's Corner coming, and I am going to actually make a Federico Gatti Coach's Corner. I'm going to gather as much information as possible, and I will do that for you, the fans. Okay. Before we get into the graphics, I'm going to ask everybody who's currently watching, what would you rate our Mercato out of 10? Give me a solid number, and then I will give you my number at the end of it. But I want to see these numbers flying in. Give it a number out of 10. And give you a reason why. It's pretty obvious why, but still, give you a reason why. Okay. So, as things stand, and the Mercato is over. It's been over for 2 days now, or 2 hours now. That's a brief synopsis of what's happened in our little picture here to our right. So Dusan Vlahovic obviously came, 70 mil, payable in 3 years to Fiorentina. Then we got $11.6 million going into. Sorry, I was reading a comment. So 11.6 million euros is going to the agents, and another possible 10 million going on to for bonuses. Sorry about my dog again. Boo. No. Then we go on to Federico Gatti. Obviously, he's the center back from Frosinone. He's 23 years old, I believe, and we signed him for 7.5 million euros. But he's going straight back on loan to Frosinone for the rest of the season. Obviously, with us having 4 center backs currently, he's not going to play probably, or get a chance to play at least. Again, this signing, it was kind of random, but I see it for a longer term vision. Obviously, they're planning for the future, and or they could use him as a perfect piece for another center back that they might try and acquire. Could it be Bremer? Maybe. Could it be Milinkovic? Maybe. We'll see. Give me 1 second about my dog. Boo, come here. Come here. So yeah. And then our final signing that was incoming was Dennis Zakaria, $5 million plus 3. I think that's been changed. I think that figure is not completely correct. I think it's like 4.5 going to Borussia Mönchengladbach for over 3 years, and then another 1.5 in agent fees. And we do have more specific graphics that Juventus released in the press. So here we go. We got Vlahovic signing for Juventus. So Juventus Football Club SPA announces that their agreement with ACF Fiorentina SRL for the definitive acquisition of the registration rights of the player Dusan Vlahovic has reached a consideration of 70 million euros. Okay. Sorry about that. So going on, 70 million payable over 3 financial years, in addition to solidarity contribution provided by FIFA regulations, an additional cost of 11.6. So that's the BS agent fees and all that stuff. And then in addition, bonuses up to a maximum 10 million are envisaged upon achievements in increasing sporting objectives. So if you really think about it, we paid 91.6 million for Dusan Vlahovic. That's a lot. And that's not including his contract. So it ends up being a lot of money spent on a 21-year-old. Now 22, because he just turned 22. And then the contract's there. We signed him until June 30th, 2026. Yes, my dog is ecstatic that Aaron Ramsey is gone. The announcement from Rangers just came out that they signed him, so good for us. That's officially official, but we knew that. But yeah, 91 million is a lot of money. And then we go to Zakaria. So again, Juventus Football Club SPA announces that an agreement with Borussia Mönchengladbach for the definitive acquisition of the registration rights of the player Dennis Lemmy Zakaria Lacolodo. Oh my goodness, that's his name. That's a crazy name. Dennis Lemmy Zakaria Lacolodo has been reached for a consideration of 4.5 million payable 3 financial years, in addition to the solidarity contribution provided for FIFA regulations, 4.1 million. Juventus and the player have signed a contract until same as Vlahovic, 2026. What is this? I'm not a Milan fan. What the heck is that? This is Canada. What's going on here? So yeah, that one's more justifiable, 8.6 million. But we knew that because he was what's it called? He was going to be a free agent come the summer, so paying a lower fee made sense. But that's still a lot in agent fees. That's that. Why is it 4.1 million? That's a lot, considering Vlahovic was a major deal, and this was 11.6 million. Weird, but we move on. This is coming right from the Juventus website as well. So these are the fees. I didn't really check the what's it called? I didn't check the opposing teams' press releases, but because why would I? And then we don't have the official figures on Federico Gatti, but it was reported it was 7.5 million euros paid to Frosinone. Okay, outgoings now. Lots of movement. First and foremost, we'll go from highest transfer fee to lowest. Dejan Kulusevski, obviously the biggest guy moving out. What a sell! What a sale! Arriva Bene played hardball with his old friend Paratici, and Paratici did it again. He spent 45 mil on Kulusevski. He spent a lot of money. 10 million euros for the initial loan. Give me 1 sec again. Sorry, that's really annoying. So yeah, Dejan Kulusevski again. 45 million euros, another 45 million euros Paratici spends on this dude. I can't believe it. However, we'll find out if it's a good investment. We get 10 million on the loan for the loan fee, and then there's another 35 potentially in bonuses. That includes Champions League qualification, appearances. So we'll find out. I don't know how many appearances. I don't know if it's said, but we'll see. And then obviously Rodrigo Bentancur. He also went to Tottenham. 19 million euros on a permanent transfer, so no loans attached. 6 million in bonuses, equaling 25 total. But that's not including the 30% sell-on fee to Boca Juniors. We need to pay them. So whatever, I figure 30% of 25 million is what? I don't know. I can't do the math right now. Again, good money. Good money for the Uruguayan Pirlo. That was crazy. Some Tottenham fans are saying he was the Uruguayan Pirlo today. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It's a permanent transfer. It's not on loan, so we get the money right away. So it's good. And then we go on to Aaron Ramsey finally leaving Juventus. This was the one that everyone was expecting, but at the beginning of the month. This is the one we were like, okay, this guy's finally going. I'm pretty sure, but it was looking like there was no chance because all the Premier League teams who were interested in him, like Wolverhampton, like Newcastle, like Crystal Palace, they were starting to shy away, and then he just chose to He just chose to go to Rangers. Crazy. I think I forget again exactly how much we're paying in salary. But we are paying some of the salary that Ramsey is going to be for him to move on to Rangers. And it's a loan for 6 months. Again, we will see what happens. We will see. Will he impress Rangers enough so he stays there? I don't know. Will he impress other English teams so he can go there in the summer? I hope so. I wonder if he's playing in Celtic on Wednesday. That'd be interesting. Passed his medical, so he's obviously fit. So yeah, there's another one. So half the salary that's pretty good to save. And then we got Radu Dragusin, not coming back obviously, but he's going to Salernitana. So he was at Sampdoria, didn't really play, and now he's at Salernitana for 6 months. So Tanner KG says we're going to pay 30% of Ramsey's wage. And if that's the case, fine. Great. He's gone. He's not taking up roster space or squad space, and I'm okay with it. We can move on. So those are our outgoings, and then we'll get to some definitive answers. This is coming from, again, Juventus press release. This is what's coming in. Juventus Football Club, SPA, announces that an agreement with Tottenham Hotspur for the temporary disposal until June 2023, so 18-month loan, of the registration rights of the player Dejan Kulusevski has been reached for a consideration of 10 million. So for the 18 months, we get the 10 million euros. So 3 million for this winter, or from this 6-month period, and then 7 million next year. The agreement further envisages, oh my goodness, the obligation for Tottenham to definitely acquire the player's registration rights subject to the achievement of certain sporting objectives by the end of 2023, so by the end of next year. The right for Tottenham to definitively acquire the player's registration rights in case such objectives are not achieved. In both cases, the agreed consideration for the definitive disposal is 35 million euros payable in 5 years. So yeah, every team does this now. Every team does not just load up and give you the exact amount that has been agreed upon. They always do it in payment in different years, and that's fine. So that's Kulusevski's outgoing news. And now we'll go to Bentancur's. Juventus Football Club SPA announces the agreement between Tottenham Hotspur, the definitive disposal. So, like I said, there's no loan attached to this. This is a definitive player registration for Tottenham. He got a different last name too. Rodrigo Bentancur Coleman has been reached for a consideration of 19 million euros payable in 3 financial years, which might be increased up to the amount of 6 million upon achievement of specific sportive performance objectives over the duration of the employment of the contract. The transaction generates a positive economic effect, approximately 4 million, already net of solidarity. Great. Of course, you see how they squeezed that in though? That's awesome. Additional cost of the amount due to Boca as a result in the disposal right of the registration. Okay. So like I said, I like how Juventus clearly stated that we got a positive economic result out of the sale. They usually do that only when we do get a positive one. No, I think the Ronaldo one they put negative. I think they did disclose that. I forget. I have to go back to it, but you're right. So we'll move on because we got lots more in the cooker. Mohamedi Hatarin also on loan to Ajax for 18 months. I don't know the exact details there. Other like Hamza Rafia went on a loan again. So to, I think Alessandria or something, maybe some other team because there's 2 teams involved, and I think that's it. Let's check out what Romeo Gresti said, because he had a nice little list. Oh, I went too far. Oops. Yeah, here we go. So Vlahovic, Zakaria, Gatti signed. Gatti went back on loan. Ramsey went on loan. Dragusin went on loan. Hatarin went on loan. Bentancur, Kulusevski sold. So there you go. That's so Cremonese. Okay, so G just Juve. There you go. It was Alessandria at one point, but Cremonese ended up getting Hamza Rafia, so there you go. I knew there was 2 teams involved. And now we will get to... Sorry, I forgot to look at the chat, because what were some of the numbers? What were some of the numbers that we gave out of 10 for the market? Anthony Aguechi saying would be 10 out of 10 if we had signed a fullback. I think that was always going to be hard because we have about how many on the roster now? We got about 5. So it's difficult. One would have to leave definitely, and I don't know if you're going to get a better left back in time. So we are with Alexandro for the foreseeable future, for the next 6 months at least. But I think Pellegrini and De Sciglio will be getting more opportunity in this for, again, the rest of the season. Well, now that also something just came out, breaking news that Alexandro tested positive. So he'll be out for at least 2 weeks. So now that we know who's on the squad, we can now look into the outlook of the future, especially for the rest of the season and our Champions League list. So I looked at UEFA Rule 46.1, and it stated that you can only make 3 changes to your own list for the next round of the Champions League. Obviously, the 3 players that were sold today, or I guess, today, they're all announced today, so they're sold today. Kulusevski, Ramsey, and Bentancur, they'll be omitted off, or obviously they're off our list. And then obviously Federico Chiesa will be taken off our list as well due to injury. And the players that will be put on most likely are Vlahovic, Zakaria, and Pellegrini. I can't see why Pellegrini wouldn't be there now. Kyle George still doesn't make the list. We're only allowed 3, and I'd rather Pellegrini make the list instead of Kyle George, because now at striker we have Morata, Vlahovic, Keane, and I don't think Kyle George needs to be on the list. So that's the Champions League outlook. Again, that's that won't be announced for another 2 days, I think. I think February 2nd they have to have the names in. So there you go. James Tonin says, was there any talk interest of shipping Rabiot? I don't know if it was totally. I don't know if it was a rumor, like it was an actual hard rumor, but apparently he was offered as a swap for Pogba. But I don't know how concrete that rumor was, or if it was even talked about. And I'm also wondering when Romeo Agresti's column will come out about Paul Pogba, because he said stay tuned to his program goal or his work, and stay tuned to that for an update on that. So I don't know what we're expecting right now, but we'll see in the future. Number 8 was left available now. Just so we all know, Ramsey left. Zakaria took 28, so number 8 is available. And last thing I have before possible formations, looking to the future, we have a free agent list. So we have Juventus free agents, and we have the next best 20 or almost 20 free agents. I forget how many I put. But on the left there, obviously the Juventus free agents are Dybala, Cuadrado, Bernardeschi, Perin, and De Sciglio. So out of those 5, who should we keep? Let me know in the chat. Who should we keep out of those 5? I'm going to go ahead and say Dybala definitely, Cuadrado definitely. And if you don't want to spend more money on a backup goalkeeper, I know Perin is always like, nah, I want to play, I want to be first string. But if you can convince Perin somehow to be the second guy, I would re-sign him. I don't mind him as a second goalie. But we do need a lot more help at fullback, so I think we need to move on from De Sciglio. And Bernardeschi, I've been done with Bernardeschi for a while, so I'd say 3 out of those 5. Dan Kita, nothing has been officially announced yet. Like we're on the verge of extending Cuadrado, but nothing has been officially, like I said, announced. So take a look at the list. Let's not talk about the rest of the world yet. Let's talk about these are all from Transfer Market, by the way. But let's take a look at the list. I think 3 out of the 5 we should re-sign. I don't think Bernardeschi or De Sciglio should be re-signed. Again, Dybala, I think it's a no-brainer. Cuadrado, it's a no-brainer to me. And Perin, if you can convince him to be the number 2 and he accepts that role for whatever reason, I would say yes, do it. So we're getting some people, Sonny, our member, saying Dybala, Cuadrado, De Sciglio. So yeah, similar names, but he wants De Sciglio to stay. Again, if he takes a lower wage, sure. Because he's like the 3rd choice right back and 3rd choice left back. So he's kind of in a weird spot, but he plays a lot, and that's even weird to me as well. Morten Lindhardsson saying, I want Christensen, but I'm also Danish. So he's playing some favoritism there. He'd be probably pretty expensive, and I can only see him coming if De Ligt does leave. So I hope De Ligt stays. Anas is agreeing with me. Anthony Aguechi is saying everyone except Bernardeschi, maybe. Oh no, he's saying renew all, and then he's saying except Berna. Yeah. I think his time here is done. I know Allegri gets the best out of him and whatever, but he needs to take a lower wage. Then Sonny's also saying, I heard we were interested in Odero as a second goalie. So we're just playing a hot potato with Odero with Sampdoria. We had him, then we loaned him, then they bought him from us, and now we're going to take him back. He's a very good goalie, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to pay again for him. I don't want to pay money to get him back as a second goalie. If you're going to be a second goalie, you need to be like 3 million euros to buy, or like your wage has to be so low. Sorry, my throat's a little bit dry because I went to the Canada-USA game yesterday because it was 5 minutes away from my house, and I was screaming a lot. Let's move on because we're still talking about the left side of our chart there with the free agents. Who would you take? Or sorry, not take. Who would you renew? Dan Kita saying DeShilio is a good backup and plays both sides of a fullback spot. Yeah, and I mentioned that, but he's like third choice in both spots. He's like the third choice right back. He's behind Cuadrado and Danilo, and he's behind, at this rate, Alexandro and Pellegrini. Anthony L. Thank God Bentancur is out. Should have moved on 3 years ago. I mean, okay. But it's tough because if this was the best deal possible, he had to make it because I don't know if you're going to get 25 million euros from another team. So this might have just been a great opportunity and we seized on it. So I'm okay with the sale for that much. So Jacob Ibrahimi is saying Cuadrado is a must. DeShilio, Perrin, number 2. I agree. Oh yeah, okay. So Jacob, in his mind, is not on board with Dybala, Bernardeschi. And Ali is saying Dybala, Cuadrado, definitely. The others can be replaced. Yep. Clement is saying Juventus didn't want an obligation to buy Fernandes because they are projecting to sign De Jong from Barcelona. I mean, hopefully, but again, that's tough. I guess they're in good terms with the agents now because they just got Zakaria and they paid Zakaria's agents 4.1 million. So I guess they're in good terms, and also Mohamed Hatarin, they're the agents for him as well, and they just got him another move. So I can see what's being at play here. I can see the good networking here. I understand the whole behind-the-scenes stuff, but De Jong, it's going to be complicated. If they're going for De Jong, it's going to be a complicated purchase. It's going to be costly. The salary is going to cost a lot. The actual acquisition rights is going to cost a lot from Barcelona. You're talking probably 50, 60 million. Is he a guy that Allegri wants? That's tough. Is he... Because again, he's an analytics darling. Like, that's what he is. He's an analytics darling. He looks beautiful, like aesthetically pleasing to watch on the ball. Dribbling, passing, nice. Movement is nice. What does he actually do with the ball? He transmits the ball from defense to attack. He does it flawlessly. He's one of the best in the world at transitioning by dribbling. Passing, progressive passes, not quite there. Not quite there. He's very lateral. Now, does he have goals in him? Not really. He doesn't really have goals in him either. But his technical ability on the ball is incredible. Obviously, we all know that. He's the Dutch center midfielder. And he's De Ligt's friend. Does that have anything to do with it? Does that have anything to do with it? Maybe. I don't know. But as we all know, Juventus is loading up for a potential superstar, a potential star midfielder to come in the summer. So we have to be aware of that and happy that we're actually in this conversation. Home of Viewer saying, please sign Dybala. Jacob saying, Dybala with lower wages. Love the guy, but lowering wages is a must. I think if it stays at the 8 million plus 2 in bonuses, I think that's fair. He's the best. He's the best player. He's the best technical player we have. You see how the team ticks whenever he's playing. He's the only creative offensive spark we have in the final third. Because Locatelli's so far back. Dan Kita saying, after the Euros, I would keep Bernardeschi. Nah, I'm done with him. Ali Reza agrees with me. Audero is our own grown for Champions League. I get it, but again, are you spending that much money just to have a homegrown player? because he's going to be an expensive goal. He's going to be an expensive second goalkeeper. Mohammed saying, do you think Dybala will actually go to Inter if he doesn't sign? I don't think he'll go to Inter. I think if he doesn't actually come back, he'll go abroad. Apparently Man City's checking in on him. Maybe Barcelona unleashes the wages on him. I don't know. But I don't think he'll go to Inter. Stephanie, one of our members, saying Juve will keep Berna because of the Italian team, I think. Sure. I don't know. I hope not. He shouldn't stay, but again, he shouldn't stay on that wage. If it's 1.5 mil, 2 mil, sure. But if it's going to be 4.5 like he wants, nah. I forgot 9. Hasta says I forgot 9. I don't know what that means. Sorry. Explain yourself, Hasta. Let's talk about Kulusevski for a sec. Because Lester brings up a good point. He wanted to give him, because he's a big fan, wish him all the best. I was too. I was a big fan of Kulusevski. I bought a shirt and everything. Last year, I was impressed because he was a 20-year-old playing at Juventus in his first season, contributing 14 goals. Won the Coppa Italia for Juventus. Goal and assist. I thought coming into the season, he wasn't great last year. He wasn't fantastic, but he had really good signs of being a star. I thought this year he was just going to take the next step, and it went completely opposite. Allegri had different ideas, and he's gone. We got more money for him than we paid for him, so that is a good thing if he achieves all of what he has to achieve. But it sucks to give up on a 21-year-old. But if the coach isn't going to use him, he's not going to use him. It's best if he goes. RBCom saying Cherubini and Arrivabene should start looking at chefs for their day jobs because they're cooking. I get it. That's funny. Now, okay, so here's a question about Rabiot. What's the role you think Rabiot is into? What's the role you think Rabiot is into? I personally think he should be bench player. He should be riding pine, seat number 6. I don't think he should play. If Rabiot and Pogba was on the table, I get why. I get why they would offer that, just because Paul Pogba would be... He's a declining asset because he doesn't have a contract, and Man U might as well get something for him instead of him walking for nothing. And Rabiot, we just don't want Rabiot, and maybe he clicks somewhere else. So I understand that rumor. I understand why Juventus would offer that, and why Man United might consider it. But he has no place here anymore. I'm sorry. 2.5 years, and he's scored 2 good goals. And had 1 good game this year. He's probably played about 24 games in all competitions. And he's probably had 2 good... No. 1 definitely. He had 1 good game against Lazio, but I can't remember another one. I think he's done here. Or he should be done here, at least. Marino's asking, do you know on which days Juventus is training? They've been training this whole time, except for the South Americans and the North Americans that are on the team. Everyone else, all the Europeans are training right now. So, yeah, there you go. Now let's talk about the rest of the world free agents that are out there. So you see Mbappe. I put Mbappe just because he is, and I didn't want people to yell at me if I excluded him. But Mbappe, he's going to Real Madrid. Then there's Pogba, Kessié, Brozovic, Rudiger, Nicolas Schüle, Christensen, Ousmane Dembele, who didn't move today. Boubacar Kamara, who didn't move today. Romagnoli, Belotti, Lacazette, Ginter, and Mazraoui. There's obviously more, but these are the players with the most transfer value attached to them. So out of these guys, who would you take? Obviously, the most obvious name is Pogba, but well, in my view, it's Pogba. But we'll see. We'll see what you guys think. And I think Unholy Fun is talking about De Jong when he says FIFA 22 player, not a real football player. I could be wrong. Sorry. Uh-oh. Something's glitching on the side there. That's okay. We'll get into tactics and the foreseeable future in terms of on-the-pitch stuff in a bit. I do have pictures ready to go. But, yeah, let me know who do you want on the right-hand side there, or the rest of the world. So Jacob Ibrahimi is a fan of Christensen as well, just like Morton was. He can play both midfield and defense. I don't want Christensen playing midfield for Juventus. I think we're better than using him there. We can probably buy someone else. That doesn't have to be Christensen. Edgar saying signing Dybala is a must. We then sell. Nah, again, dude, you're not signing Dybala then selling him. You're not doing that. That's extremely disrespectful. Going forward, Antonio Inguagiato is saying, think De Ligt will be sold. We will get Gravenberch for midfield, Romagnoli for CB. Both are Raiola players. Honestly, if they were doing that stuff, if we're selling just to buy, if we're selling just to keep an agent happy and buying more of their clients, that I hate that. I hate that idea. I like the idea of working with an agent for multiple clients, but not just selling and buying one of them just to appease them. Like the agent of De Jong, Zakaria, and Hatteran. I get that. I understand what, like, that makes more sense to me. You signed Zakaria, you made them happy. Now you can go sign another one of their clients because they trust you. You guys are networked well. So I understand why De Jong and Zakaria would be a thing. But moving out De Ligt just so Mino Raiola could be happy, and then Mino just returns the favor of giving them Gravenberch and Romagnoli, you downgrade. That's a downgrade. If it was Haaland and Pogba, then yeah, I would do that. But if De Ligt's going out and it's Gravenberch and Romagnoli coming in, come on, that's horrible. Hanin, one of our members, is saying, who's a midfielder like Milinkovic-Savic that we can get? Physical and scores and assists, other than Pogba. That's tough. Yuri Tielemans, he's not as physical, but Yuri Tielemans provides assists and goals. He's a good player, kind of expensive as well, but I think we can get him cheaper than Milinkovic-Savic, only because his contract's almost done. Thinking of another player. Is Mason Mount a center midfielder? Or is he more of an attacking wing or midfielder? It's tough. It's a tough thing. Like, obviously De Bruyne, but not getting De Bruyne. So that's the prototypical player we need to bring in, though. A player who can score, assist, tackle, do everything. Speaking of members, like Hanin, you can join our members group. It's down below in the description. It's very simple to follow. We got a lot of people in there now, so that's fun. It's a nice Discord chat we got going. Other stuff is coming in the future with prizes and whatnot, so stay tuned and join. And to our members that are here, stay tuned. I missed one from Alexandru saying, maybe Botman from Lille in the summer. So Botman came out and talked today because he didn't move. Milan and Newcastle are very interested. And he said about Newcastle, he liked the project. And he compared Newcastle's project to the beginning of PSG and Man City, which is very insightful for a younger player to acknowledge because he understands what's going on. He knows that Newcastle isn't they are an historic club, but he knows that money is happening there, and they're trying to do something good. Like they got Guimaraes, they got Trippier, and they're in talks with other players. But he understands that there's a project. And then the Milan thing, he's like, it's just a historic team. So I don't think we're close to him. Like he had offers from these teams, and he actually spoke to these teams. So maybe in the summer something changes, but I don't think we're in for Botman. He'd be a good player though to get. Dembrile is asking me a question. Julian, who do you think will sign in the midfield this summer? Who do I think will sign? I would keep tabs on Pogba and De Jong. Just the big names that have been mentioned by Agresti, and him not directly saying no to. And De Jong, strictly because of the agent thing again, it makes sense. If Xavi's not going to play him at Barcelona in a proper role, then he's making too much money for no reason. Pogba, for the obvious reasons, knows the club, loves the club. It's mentioned he might take less money to come in. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. If it's not those two, I would like Milinkovic-Savic. But again, I don't think we'll get him because Claudio Lotito does not like Juventus. Like we think Rocco Commisso doesn't like Juventus. Claudio Lotito actually despises Juventus. So I don't think we'll be getting Milinkovic-Savic. And about 41 minutes ago, the Juventus Twitter account officially said, Ramsey is gone, thanks Aaron. Great. So, sorry, to long-winded answer, Dembrile, one of those three. Or even Yuri Tielemans, because I'm still down with that. Anthony Aguechi is saying Mazraoui would be nice as a Cuadrado understudy. Again, do we want backups or do we want players who can be in the starting 11 and make our current starting 11 be backups? Because if we got a really good right back in, then Cuadrado becomes a sub and he could be an impact sub. If we got another midfielder in, then McKennie can be an impact sub coming on and being a goal threat. We need to currently upgrade our starting 11. We can't be buying replacements unless it's the second goalie. Hasta saying I would take Mbappe for free easily. Of course, but he's already signing with Real Madrid. I just put that there, obviously, because he's a free agent. And then Sani Kiwan is saying only Pogba. I'm almost on the same boat as you. If Rudiger and Kessié didn't want crazy amounts of money, I would take them as well. But since Kessié and Rudiger want crazy amounts of money, that's a no for me. Anas keeps asking me about Corey Gakpo. I'm not sure who that is. Is that the guy from MLS? Or is he Belgian? I think there's a Gakpo in MLS. Uzman is saying Sule would be a fantastic acquisition. I've adored that kid for some time. My only problem with Sule is he's slow. He's very, very slow. Big man. Obviously, center back, you want to be a big man. He's physical, good in the air, but he's very slow. So I'm scared that there's some pacey forwards in Serie A. So it's dangerous. Ali Reza is saying Pogba plus Mazraoui and Milenkovic. So I didn't even get Milenkovic on here. He wasn't in the top whatever in terms of transfer value. If you're getting Milenkovic on a free transfer as a third choice center back or fourth choice, fine. Pogba, obviously, that's the obvious answer. And Mazraoui, again, is he going to start? Is he good enough to start? Is he going to replace Cuadrado or Danilo? That's what you have to hope. If he's not replacing those guys, then I wouldn't sign him. Igor Kapusta is saying, I would take Pogba, Romagnoli, and Mazraoui. A lot of people want Mazraoui. And Homovive is saying, just sign Dybala. Yeah. We'll find out about Dybala shortly. I don't know shortly, but in the next month. the board meeting, the shareholder meeting is taking place at some time. Maybe if Pepe's still in here, maybe he can let us know if he knows when that shareholder meeting is. More stuff the free agent talk our free agent talk will commence from there. Malik El Sharif is saying maybe Mazraoui, we're going to need RBs, Danilo and Cuadrado are getting older. And that's fine, again. Maybe he becomes like he does an Alexandro thing when he first got here. He takes a backseat to Patrice Evra for a year. So maybe Mazraoui takes a backseat to Cuadrado for a year, and then he takes over the starting spot. Again, if that's the case, fine. But you have to plan for this stuff. Morton says, we don't need any more in the center midfield. Let's not make mistakes again. So Morton's saying no more center midfield free agents. I don't know if you're saying that for De Jong, like an exorbitant transfer as well, but we still need an upgrade in midfield. Zakaria is not the solution. Hanin is saying let's look at players' contracts that end in 2024 too. I think we should do next year, like 2023 players instead, because 2 years is still a lot. 2 years upcoming this summer, that's still a lot of time, and they'll still have some transfer value. But players with contracts that end next year in 2023, you can start looking to get a little bit more of a discount. Dan Keita saying Rodrigo De Paul. Are we going to go save him after 1 year? Or is Atletico Madrid going to let him go for 40 mil or less? Because I wouldn't pay him more than 40. Like, I think he went for 40 mil. I wouldn't pay more than that. Dan Barilla is saying, Dalit is supposedly impressed with what the management did in this Mercato and could potentially stay. That's hearsay. Like, who knows what's going on? Who knows what's going on behind the scenes? Like, one day he's going to be happy, one day he's not going to be happy because they lost. We won't know about Dalit until April or end of the season at least. Hobie is saying Jude Bellingham. Yeah, we don't have 80 million to spend on an 18-year-old, so I don't think he's coming in. Cosmic Juicy is saying thoughts on Gatti. I will be doing a coach's corner on Federico Gatti. He's a player we just acquired from Frosinone, 23 years old, center back. We loaned him right back out to Frosinone to finish the season. Initial thoughts are, at best, he'd be the fifth choice center back on this team at the moment of speaking. So that's why he went back. So obviously there's still room to grow, but he is a player that obviously was interesting a lot of teams. Not just Serie A teams, but from abroad as well. Every top Serie A team was interested in Gatti. So I'm glad that we got him for not an expensive fee, but a just fee. In terms of playing style, I think he's calm on the ball. He's got some good defensive statistics and analytics, but to be honest, I don't watch Frosinone, so I just read up on him quickly. So we'll see. Again, he's going to come in June. He's going to come do preseason training camps with Allegri, and he'll base it off that. And then if he has to go on loan again, then I don't know if it was $7.5 million worth it. Is he the new Rugani? Maybe. Anybody else? Okay, so here's the thing about Marino. Marino's saying, what do you expect about the Pogba news from Agresti? I have no idea. I have no idea what to expect. He teased it so well. He teased it really well. We got 92 people in here. We need more likes. We need more likes. Get the likes up. And just as a programming note, we will be having a Zakaria and Gatti Coach's Corner coming shortly. I think the Zakaria one's going to come out tomorrow, and the Gatti one might take a while because I have to do some research. Enzo is saying, best right back, even though I don't think he was great against Canada, would be Serginho Dest. I do not rate Dest at all. Yes, he's fast, and yesterday you could see, like I personally saw, like Tajon Buchanan is fast. If you're Canadian, you know who Tajon Buchanan is. He is fast, and Serginho Dest made him look slower than a snail. So his recovery speed is very good, but on the ball he doesn't provide much. Like there was a lot of hype of him being good with the ball, but not much. I don't really see it. I'm not just basing off the Canada-USA game because I've seen it with Barcelona as well. But there's a reason why Barcelona is now playing him as a right winger. Some games. So, and he'll probably be a lot of money. Yeah, okay, so I need men 2023. Yeah. I can take it we can make a specific show out of it. I can look at 2023 players who end their contracts, and I can look into it, and we can go from there. But I'm not going to do it today because there's too much to talk about. Kevin Camilleri is saying Tchouaméni, we need to get him on Juve. That is expensive. Real Madrid's talking about 80 million euros. That's an expensive player because Zakaria, I'm not saying Zakaria is better, but you just bought Zakaria to do the exact same role that you want Tchouaméni to do. So I don't know if you want to invest 80 million euros into a position where you just bought someone to play in as the destroying midfielder. And then Nemesis is saying we bought Gatti just to secure Bremer. That could be an option. He could also just be a fourth or fifth choice center back. Sani is saying all these rumors about De Jong, I think implies a swap with Barca for De Ligt. I am definitely not in favor with that deal. Also 100% not sold. No, if that's the case, absolutely not. I agree with you, Sani. If it's De Ligt for De Jong, no chance. I do not want that. That would be that's poor asset management if that's the case from the board. And they've done extremely good work in the winter. Here's the question I'll throw out to everybody. What's everyone's expectations for the summer now that you've seen this winter? What's everyone's Juventini? What are your expectations for the summer? After seeing what just happened in a week, what do you expect to see for 3 months, 2 months? I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of nervous too. I don't know what to expect, but I think it'll be good. If we get that one prized center midfielder in, I think we'll be in a better shape, especially with a gunslinger like Vlahovic. Especially if De Ligt stays. If we get that another primo center midfielder, we're looking good. Okay, so we'll take down the free agent board because you guys have had a long time to look at it and give your thoughts. Now we'll get into some lineup talk. It's obviously not always the most fascinating thing for people, but I've conjured 3 formations that I think could be used. Again, not all of them are going to be used, or not all of them are going to match what you want. That's fine. We can have differing opinions. Just don't say it's crap. Just be like, I don't agree with it. And some don't make sense. Or like some squad, like in terms of what we have on our squad, it doesn't make sense. Because why would we play a 4-2-3-1 with only 2 wingers? So that's the first one I'll bring up. Here's a 4-2-3-1 with the current squad that we have. And yeah, so Cuadrado can play a little further forward. We have Vlahovic up top, Morata in a little bit of a Mandzukic role, Dybala dropping in as usual, Locatelli pushing forward, and Zakaria protecting. And obviously we have Danilo there as a defensive security, as a right back, and Pellegrini can go be the crosser or wide option on the left. I forgot to put his arrow up. Oh well. So let me know what you think about that one. I kind of like that one. just because there is balance. I know there might not seem to be too much balance, but if you think of it as players moving and not just a set formation, if you think about the players rotating and actually moving, it makes sense. So if Cuadrado has the ball on the far right, you got Morata, Vlahovic, and Locatelli in the box going for a cross. Great. You got 3 big men in the box. 2 of them are strikers by nature. Another one has a goal-scoring record from midfield. If you have the ball on the left-hand side, Pellegrini is a decent crosser of the ball. Then you have Vlahovic and Morata in the box, and Dybala coming short, and maybe Locatelli in the box as well. If you want to play through the middle, you got Locatelli further forward to make those progressive passes. You got Morata to play in behind Vlahovic, and you got Dybala creating as well. Many options. There's many options here. Again, is it the most balanced you could possibly have? Maybe not, but I like the idea of when we have the ball. When we don't have the ball, you know Morata's going to work his socks off. I don't know how defensively organized he could be. We know he's sometimes a chicken with no head, and he likes to run around a lot. But I don't know if Allegri's going to use Morata as a Mandzukic. It's tough. It's tough to convert a guy who knows he's leaving and change his mind to, no, you're not playing striker anymore. You're going to be a left midfielder. That's tough. I don't know how you're going to convince Morata to do that, but ideally, with his characteristics, he could do that. I know I'm going to miss a lot of comments here, and it's hard with 90 some odd people in the chat. Oh, now it's dropped to 80. I guess they didn't like this first formation here. That's okay. Sorry, let's get up. Haneen's faith has been restored by the management because of this winter. Nemesis is saying we got a solid foundation, and Norbert Hushti likes this formation. Homo Vive says that's a good team, and McKennie can be a backup or Dybala or Cuadrado. Oh, for Cuadrado or Dybala. Yep. The only problem with this formation is putting in super sub kind of things. Keane would be the only attacking player we have. McKennie obviously can come in to be another player in the box, but who do you take out? Rambo saying that is solid, to be honest. Tanner KG is saying 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1 is probably the choice under Max. Smiley face, Morata is the new Mario, maybe. Nemesis doesn't want to hear anything related to Pogba. Morton likes this one. Okay, so people are vibing off this one. Good. Again, I do have my reasoning why. I let everyone know. Again, am I Max Allegri? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Am I Max Allegri? So I don't have the pressures. I don't know the players personally, so I don't know if Morata will actually do this. Enzo's saying, we're going to keep disrespecting Pogba like he isn't the best option for the money. Yeah, 100%. This is my point. If Paul Pogba was 29 and he still had 2 years left on his contract, I'd say absolutely not. Do not touch Paul Pogba. But since he's a free agent, since he does not want to stay at United, or at least that's what we hear, and since he's been linked to us, and he likes the club, why wouldn't we want Paul Pogba back? We've seen what this guy can do. Yes, he hurt himself this year, but at the beginning of the season, he was lights out. Home of you is saying 4-3-1-2 can also happen. Yeah, listen, this is the first I have 2 other formations after this. Sophia saying 3-5-2. I got one of those as well. Just keep it locked on here for a bit, and we'll see. Leo GT saying Fagioli and Rovella can join McKennie, Locatelli, and Zakaria. Okay, I get it. I think Rovella is definitely going to be a Juventus player next year. I think Fagioli's going to be a Serie A player next year. With what team? I'm not sure. But I think Rovella will be another midfielder. I think Rabiot will be phased out. and you're looking at Robella coming in, and then you probably need 6 midfielders. You need 6. Us going into to the rest of the season with only 5, it's not great, but it is what it is. Varshan P is saying, I think we're getting Gravenberch in the summer. See, sure, again, but if Paul Pogba or De Jong are on the table, I'd probably go for them. Sonny saying, for the summer, a center midfielder, a left back, and keeping De Ligt and Dybala plus cheap options to replace players who are leaving. That's a lot to do. That's a lot to do in the summer, especially since you've just done what you did in winter. It's hard to get 6 new players in. Because if you're replacing some of the free agents that are leaving, and Rabiot's probably leaving, hopefully, I hope he's phased out. You hope Bernardeschi is gone, so you have to replace Bernardeschi. You got to replace Rabiot. Is Rovella the one who's replacing Rabiot? Maybe. Clement saying he prefers Anthony from Ajax over Ousmane Dembele. Of course. I think that's logical. So Anin is saying same formation, but probably Berna, McKennie, Rabiot instead of Morata. Oh, so either one of those 3 instead of Morata. Yeah. Again, it's if we can convince Morata somehow to be Mandzukic, I think he has. I don't think he's like strong enough and mentally strong enough to do what Mandzukic did, but he has the physical ability to do it, not the mental ability. Stephanie is saying, heard Pogba also disrespected the club. Is this true? This goes back to when he was first went back to Man United. He said in his press conference, I'm back from vacation. And everyone thinks that he was disrespecting the club. Sure, I get why people think that. But he's never lost his affinity for the club. He just made a comment. He was young when he did it. I'm sure he would jump back into Juventus with open arms. And Agnelli doesn't hate him, so why should we? And we took Bonucci back, so Bonucci celebrated a goal against us. Why wouldn't we take Pogba back? Okay, we'll move on to the next. Formation here. We got a nice little look at the 4-2-3-1. Now, next up is a 3-5-2. Which, again, Allegri says in his own right, he doesn't want to play that anyway because he doesn't think De Ligt can play in a back 3. I think De Ligt is a superstar generational player and he can play any situation, so I don't understand that argument. As you can see, you got De Sciglio at left wing back. That could be Pellegrini as well. You got Quadrado right wing back. McKennie as more an advanced midfielder. Locatelli pushing forward. Dybala obviously tucking in. Vlahovic up top, and Zakaria protecting again. So let us know what you think about this one. This is what I'm thinking too, Joseph, a bit. Because of the big deals done this winter, I expect the summer to be kind of quiet unless we make a big sale or Dybala doesn't renew. That's what I'm thinking. We did a lot of grunt work in a week. I think if the midfielder option is available and the board sees an opportunity again like the Vlahovic one, then they'll pounce. But if they don't see that happening and you're spending 50 mil on a guy who's like, I don't know, they won't do it. But if Frenkie de Jong is available and they think he's worth it, and Barcelona are saying, yes, take him, then they'll take him. I'm almost confident about that. If Paul Pogba says, yes, come sign me, I'll sign for cheaper, they will, damn well, Juventus is going to sign Paul Pogba. If he says, yeah, I'm okay, come sign me. I know Fabiana Della Valle said something about Jorginho today. That made me sad because I don't want Jorginho at all. Not that he's a bad player. Obviously, we all know how good of a player he is. But I don't want to spend big on him, a 31-year-old midfielder whose contract situation at Chelsea, he's got 1 year left. I get it, but I don't want to spend 30 mil on Jorginho for him to play 1 or 2 good years. Verge Esports saying, like I said, this was reminding me of 2017, and in that year we went to the UCL final. Oh, you're talking about holistic, like the whole season. You think we're going to come back and win the Serie A? No way. No, we're too far behind. Inter's not going to choke it. Maybe this UCL final, maybe. Like, again, luck is heavily involved in winning a Champions League. Yes, you have to have the players. Yes, you have to have the coach. But drawing specific teams, playing specific teams throughout the tournament, you got to be lucky. You got to play some good football, and you got to be lucky. So, maybe. And then Morton is saying, I have super high expectations for Zakaria and Rovella on defensive midfield. I trust those guys. At this point in time, I was watching some Mönchengladbach videos. I went back and watched, because in Canada you can watch the Bundesliga on Sportsnet and you can save some stuff. So I went back and watched some Mönchengladbach games. He's safe as a house. He protects. He wins balls. He's physically strong. Again, a lot of behind the scenes work with him. He's going to do stuff that's not going to pop out to you unless you really focus on the game or you player cam him. But he's going to mask a lot of defensive mistakes. And you could conceivably start Arthur beside him. This might be the thing that allows Arthur to start more. So that would be a nice thing. He covers so much ground. Sorry, I'm just getting lost in the chat a bit. Andrew Finnan, hello, what's up? One of our members. Again, you can be a member with us as well. If the description's in the link below in this video. You got nice little perks to the channel. Anything else that's interesting? I'm really behind here. Sorry, everybody. Dan Barilla, this is a nice question. If we lose Dybala, who's going to replace him? If it's player for position for position, I like Dominic Szoboszlai, but I don't think we're going to actually buy him. But my ideal replacement for Paulo Dybala is Dominic Szoboszlai. Similar characteristic, like he gets hurt, not quite as often as Dybala, but he does get hurt. But in terms of creativity and what you want in that as a player like Dybala, I like Szoboszlai. He's from Leipzig, so if you haven't taken a look at it, or even Nkunku from Leipzig, geez, another good player. Either one of those two would be great, but I don't think our board will go out and spend the necessary money to get those two players. Because it's a gamble, those two players. They'd be a gamble. They'd have to adjust to Serie A life right away. Can they get used to what Allegri wants? I don't know. But stylistically, Szoboszlai and Nkunku are great. Would be a good replacement for those two. Or for Dybala. So take a look. This is just one of three, the second of three formations I have on the right here. This is a 3-5-2, as you can see. Let me just... Varshan saying Sule will replace Dybala. Yes, if Dybala signs his contract and stays and plays for 3 more years, then Sule can come in, learn the position, what he does, and take it on in a couple of years. Sule's not replacing Dybala this year if he leaves. That's crazy. You're not asking an 18-year-old to do what Dybala does. This is just not happening. Matthias Sule has played 2 games this year, and a combined 8 minutes. You can't just ask him to be the main talisman next year. Cruz Thomas wants SMS. Learn English with Jimmy JB. Is Pogba coming? I don't think so. I don't know. If he wants to come, he's coming. That's what I see it as. If Paul Pogba wants to come to Juventus, he's coming to Juventus. And Yeli will make it quite obvious that we want him back, and he'll give him the money. I don't really know this person's name, but I agree. He says Allegri doesn't play with 3 at the back, and I agree. But this is what was circulating for a bit, so I made a 3-5-2. Hanin is saying realistically Raspadori to replace Dybala. There was a weird rumor saying Napoli was interested in him and was about to sign him, but that was squashed really quick. I think Raspadori is going to enter. And that sucks, but whatever. We can find someone else. Like I said, though, Nkunku or Szoboszlai would be great. Mr. Dax saying, I would get rid of Rabiot and Bentancur instead of Kulu. I agree with you. However, you need to get some money in the door. And if Kulusevski wasn't being played or even started by Allegri, there's no choice. There's no point of him staying. He's 21 years old. He's got to play some games. He's got to play games for his own development. And Allegri obviously said, nah, we're not we can sell him. It's fine. So, Paratici did a double. Verge Esports is saying, I think in the summer we'll make money, or we'll make some cash from Rabiot and buy Milinkovic-Savic. Listen, Adrian Rabiot's contract is done next summer, so 2023, and I think Adrian Rabiot, maximum money we would get for Adrian Rabiot is 10 million euros. Maximum, if we're lucky. Adrian Rabiot is turning out to be a Ramsey. Just younger, obviously. And he's available to play games. I just missed one from Ryan Saliba. Oh, he's talking about Bremer. I think, again, if Bremer's starting for us next year, we're in trouble. I think we need Dalit to stay, and we need Bonucci to keep fit, or Chiellini to stay and keep fit. And if Bremer wants to learn under them and play the odd game, fine. But I don't want him to start next year. Nemesis saying Fabian Ruiz. Morton's asking, is the Gatti deal done and dusted? Yeah, we got Federico Gatti. It's done, 7.5 mil to Frosinone, except he's going back to Frosinone for the next 6 months. He will be a Juventus player. Well, he is, but he's going to be back in preseason. He's going to come back to the team in June. I guess we can move on to the next formation, and it is a classic Max Allegri formation. It is a 4-3-1-2. In terms of squad composition, I like this one. Because I know we don't have many center midfielders, but our strength, we have no weakness in this formation. We have players that will bomb forward, who are technical or on the ball, who provide service. We have stay-at-home defenders who won't overload sides. And we got Cuadrado bombing down on the right, which means De Chilio doesn't go into the attack at all, which is fine because he's responsible. You got Zakaria mopping up. You got Arthur further up the field on the ball. You got McKennie going to the channel that Dybala opens up for him in behind. You obviously got the Deuce, who's the main man. You got Locatelli, more advanced, who can score goals and play better. Or he's more comfortable playing closer to the goal. So this this particular formation, I think I don't want to say it would be the best because again, one midfielder gets hurt, and now we only have Rabiot on the bench. So, in terms of actual best players on the field, I think this is it. But in terms of our squad and what we have, this is not it. So we have to take everything. We have to look at everything and all the possibilities. Mr. Dax is saying, what's the buy option on Ramsey? I think it's 4 or 5 million. We have to read the... Actually, you know what? I will read what the Juventus press release says. And... Oh, it doesn't have an amount. Okay. Aaron Ramsey has left Juventus. The midfielder will play the remainder of the season on loan at Rangers in the Scottish Premiership. Juventus is saying thanks for everything and good luck. So it looks like they're saying like he's not coming back, but there's no specific details on it. So it seems to me it might be a dry loan, which goes against what people were reporting before. Rangers soccer, Rangers Football Club. I'm just trying to look at Aaron Ramsey's press release for Rangers. He's going to be number 16 for Rangers. Yeah, there's no buy option. Nope, there's no buy option for Ramsey. Oh well. That sucks. So take a look at the formation on the right. I think, again, this is where our best players can actually play all together. It excludes Rabiot, which is not one of our best players. It excludes Morata, but that's okay. Local recording stopped because you are out of disk space on the Mac. Oh, jeez. So hopefully, are we still live? I think we're still live, but it might not save. That's not good. I gotta clear my computer. Oops. Oops. Norbert is asking if they win the league, it becomes an obligation. Oh. What? If Rangers win the league, it becomes an obligation for Ramsey? I just read it. It didn't say anything about that. Okay, so Dan Barilla saying Arthur right Metzala in a 4-3-1-2. No. If that's the case, Arthur will be the Regista and Zakaria will not play or will play right Metzala. So no, I disagree with you. I think in a defensive shape, this is how we're going to play. I think in a defensive shape, Zakaria will come into the middle. When we have the ball, Arthur will play. When we're in their half, Arthur will play further forward. But when we're in our half, and he's the one collecting the ball. There's a lot of moving parts here. So when we have the ball in our own defensive third, Arthur will be the one coming to collect and distribute. When we're in the neutral and attacking third, Arthur will play further forward, and Zakaria will drop back and protect. So realistically, it could be set up either way. But I'm not considering... I'm making a new role. I'm making Arthur's new role a Regizala. A Regizala. There you go. That's Arthur's new role for the team. Regizala. I'm coining it. Morton says, Rangers have to be in the Champions League to release the obligation. Oh, yeah? Okay. I didn't read that, but if that's the case, I didn't really see that in their press release. But if that is the case, and Rangers make the Champions League, so they would have to go through qualifying because they're in the Scottish Premier League. So if they're first, they automatically get qualified into that qualifying round. So they need to win a couple games, and that means he'll be... Yeah, but how does that work? How would that work? Because they have to do qualifying in July. That's a weird one. I don't know about that one. That's weird. Because if if they're first place and they make the Champions League qualifying round, not the actual 32 teams, the qualifying round that they play in July, they technically don't make the Champions League unless that counts as they do. It's weird wording. They would have to read it completely. Mario Theophanis saying Juventus are also paying the bulk of Ramsey's salary, which really isn't that good of a deal after all. I think it was 30%. Homo Vive is saying Costa is still our player. Technically still our player, but he's off. I think he's going to LA Galaxy. And then Hanina saying maybe we should have gotten Rovella back for depth. Yes and no. That's twofold. Like, yes, is he a quality player? Of course. Do you want him on the team? Yes. Is he starting in this team? Maybe, but maybe not. And at Genoa, he's definitely starting. So he can get more minutes under his belt at Genoa, and he can continue to dominate. Because at Juventus, we don't know if he'll dominate. So it's a difficult situation there. Because you really don't want to ruin 6 months of development for Rovella. And I get it. The Prune saying Arthur's new role. Don't F it up. Yeah, he's the Regizala. Okay, so Mario Theophanis is getting his stuff from Wikipedia, so who knows? Because Wikipedia states that Rangers have an option to buy Ramsey. And Graham Gadion, I think every Juventus fan is in the same boat as you. They hope Ramsey never finds a flight back to Turin. Ha ha ha. I mean, good on him for actually leaving, and yeah, I'm just going to say good on him. Good for us, good for him. Works out for all parties at this point. Who cares? He's gone. He's not a Juventus problem anymore, at least for 6 months. Nemesis is saying, sorry. Mr. Dax saying, rate Barcelona's transfers out of 10, then rate Juventus' transfers out of 10. Okay, so Barcelona ended up getting Dani Alves, Ferran Torres, and Aubameyang. So they got Aubameyang for free, they got 55 million for Torres, and they got Alves for free. What they did, and Adama Traore. So you know what? And it was only 30 mil. Loan plus 30 mil. So you know what? Barcelona did pretty well, if we're going to be honest. Is Aubameyang what he used to be? Absolutely not, but that's okay because they got him for free, and he's going to be their starting striker because at the moment, Luke de Jong stinks, and who else do they have? Who cares? Braithwaite, whatever. So I'm going to give them and their outgoings, I think, who left? Coutinho? I can't remember. I think Coutinho left. And probably a couple other players. But I'll give them a 7.5 out of 10. And on Twitter, I gave because our main account, bianconerizone, on Twitter asked the question, do radar mark it out of 10? And originally I said 7. And I was like, wait a minute. Do I actually think it's 7? Obviously, Dusan Vlahovic, great signing. Obviously. Dennis Zakaria, great investment for the future. 8.6 million euros paid across 3 years in total. Great signing. You can sell him on for more. For Federico Gatti, you get a player that is not going to go to any other Serie A team, so he can't hurt you in the future. You can use him as a future trade chip, and he's back at Frosinone, so who cares? That's a good signing. The outgoings, Ramsey, gone, good. You're paying some of his wage still, but that's life. Bentancur gone, good. You have to pay Boca Jr. some of the add-on fee, whatever. Kulusevski gone, not good, but money is good. So I think for different reasons, they're both 7.5 in my opinion. Because Barcelona got some good players in. Like Ferran Torres and Traore, they're good players. Dani Alves is fine. He knows the club. He does all that stuff. Good for him. And then Aubameyang, they upgraded at the forward position, so good for them. So I'd say it's about the same. No, Aubameyang did sign with Barcelona. I'm pretty sure, at least. Their markets are still open for whatever reason. Where's how do I see Barcelona? That's probably going right down to the wire. But whatever. We're not a Barcelona account. We're a Juventus account. Nemesis, any possibilities that we'll sign Mo Salah next year? No. No. And Morton is backing up Brathwaite because he's Danish, so respect. Anthony Francesco says the Gatti deal was a masterclass by the management. We'll see. Home View is saying Aubameyang, Danny are old. Adama 4 goals in 4 years in England and a bench warmer for Man City, 65 mil. Okay, I get it, but they improved Barcelona. All those players improved Barcelona, what they're currently dealing with. Just like Zakaria, Dusan Vlahovic improved Juventus immediately, those 4 improved Barcelona immediately. And Tushar's asking me, do I think De Ligt will leave in the summer? I think they will. I think he will. I don't want that to happen, obviously, but I think he's going to leave. Ali says we did better than Barcelona, in my opinion. Again, in terms of the quality of player, I think we did better, of course. But in terms of upgrading their squad and overhauling stuff, I think they did a good job as well. Because they improved in their forward department. They improved on the wingers. They improved. They got another guy in to play, who knows the club, to play defense. Or even midfield if they need to. And Dani Alves. I think they did well for them. And you can't rank it based on, these guys got these great players, but these guys they improved their squad. And they got more quality compared to what they had. And again, in terms of players coming in, Vlahovic was the best player to move, and we got him, so we automatically win. We automatically win in terms of that. But in terms of getting better, I think Barcelona got a lot better. And Mr. Doc saying, I love seeing Man United and Arsenal fans on Twitter crying about their board. I'm going to be honest, I watched Mark Goldbridge, their coverage pretty much all day today about the deadline day. And all I heard, you think we're negative on this channel? You should hear them. They are the definition of negativity, and I was listening to it. I was like, wow, that's crazy. And they should be negative because that's a poop show over there in England. Sonny saying it can't be as good as Juve's market. Their market was just patching positions with old players. In 2 or 3 years, almost none of these players will be there with them. I think Torres and Traore will be there. I think they did well in those moves. Like Ferran Torres is a very good player. Adama Traore is, if Xavi uses him in the way it sounds like he wants to use him, that's going to be a good signing. But again, Alves, they had to makeshift. They needed help, and for Aubameyang, he's their best forward. Like he's now their best forward. So It makes sense. Again, we got the best player, but they did well as well. Now, Lars Vercelli wants me to rate Milan's January transfer market. I can't because they didn't do anything. They get, I guess, 0. They did not qualify, DNQ, because they didn't do anything. Oh no, they got that Serbian striker. I'll give them 1 out of 10. They didn't do anything. And Mario Theophanis is saying, I wish we signed Hernandez. If that Kyle George swap was going to be a thing, I would say yes. But if it was just Hernandez coming in, we'd have to push more players out. Or, like, we'd have too many players at that point. It would be nice. It would be a good thing to have another center midfielder / utility player to play at right wing back or center midfield. But having too many players, it's not a good thing either. Mr. Dax is saying, is it just me or... Oh, sorry. It came off my screen. Where is it? Oops. Is it just me or did the Zakaria signing feel isolated, like no hype, barely any uploads, no real intro like the Vlahovic one? Either way, good signing. There was actually a lot of stuff on social media about Zakaria, but obviously they're not pushing to sell you Dennis Zakaria number 28 jerseys. Like, Dusan Vlahovic is a different animal here. Dennis Zakaria is a very good player, but the market appeal with Vlahovic, number 7, 17 goals already in Serie A, like, you can't compare the two. We'll go for another 8 minutes or so. Again, today was deadline day. We got all of our transfers in and out. Probably the best news of the day was... Does Zakaria count as yesterday, or is Zakaria count... the best news is Zakaria, but the most important news is Ramsey's out. Just as a little recap, and then we got Serie B player Federico Gatti for $7.5 million from Frosinone, loaned him back. Sold Kulusevski, sold Bentancur, and there's a couple other loans, like Dragosen went to Salernitana on loan. Hattern went to Ajax on an 18-month loan with an option to buy. And, of course, Ramsey's gone to Rangers. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, of course, all that stuff. Zakaria, Coach's Corner is coming tomorrow. I'm going to work on that tonight. And there will be a Federico Gatti Coach's Corner, which we will be, or at least it's going to be interesting for me. Mr. Dax, what about Inter signings? They good? Robin Gosens was good, and Felipe Caicedo was a good signing for a depth forward. They did what they needed to do as well. Arsenal saying, so Arsenal gave... Oh, sorry, frig. I'm sorry. Haneen said, so Arsenal gave up their main number 9 and didn't get anybody. To be honest, he wasn't playing Aubameyang. Like, Arteta wasn't playing Aubameyang anymore. He's going with Nketiah and Lacazette at this moment in time. Which is even funnier because Vlahovic came to Juventus and he would have solved all their problems. But he's going to solve all of ours. Saswat Baral says, don't think De Ligt will move. With all the upgrades and money pouring in, if he does, Nikola Milenkovic of Fiorentina we should get. Nikola Milenkovic is not a replacement for De Ligt. He is nowhere near the level of De Ligt. So if De Ligt was to leave, you need someone better. You need someone who's 25 and under, who's probably not the same as De Ligt because you're never going to replace De Ligt, but They have to be European proven, and they have to be under 25. You have to buy them. You have to get that in if you sell Delit. Okay, here we go. Moving on from the transfer market. Now the real question is, who will Allegri start against Verona in the Italian Cup and Atalanta? How fast will Allegri integrate Dusan and Dennis? I think, seeing as the Europeans are not playing any internationals, they have no excuse not to start on Sunday. They have to both start Sunday. Will they? No idea. Should they? Absolutely. Dennis Zakaria should be starting in that holding position, especially because Locatelli's out. So Zakaria should be starting, and Dusan Vlahovic has to start. That guy cost you 91.6 million euros. That guy has to start. He's not chunky. He's not out of shape like Higuain was when we first got him. There's no excuse for Vlahovic not to start. But we will see. And squad rotation is going to be key. That Serie A or that Coppa Italia game against Sassuolo, you should win with your subs. Do not start Vlahovic that day. Start Vlahovic against Atalanta. He needs to be ready. Against Sassuolo, you start Morata. You start Keane. I don't care. Morten Lindhardson is saying, what do we think about Donnarumma with the pop-up in the next? Will he pop up in the next transfer window? That guy is going to be worth too much money for us to spend on a goalie, especially if we can't get rid of Szczęsny. A couple more here. Kevin Camilleri wants Houssam Aouar. I think we're past that now. I don't think we're going to get him. Let's read more in the chat here. Tomorrow's a podcast day as well, so there won't be a live tomorrow. It is a podcast day, and it's also like throughout the channel you'll see the daily news video, of course, like Justin always does, because he's awesome at that. And you'll see, like I said, the Zakaria Coach's Corner, and we'll be recording a podcast that will come out on Wednesday. So no live video tomorrow, unless Alejandro does one and he feels better during the day. But for the most part, no. And it's officially official. Aubameyang does join Barcelona. They got that one right over the line. Anthony Francesco says Zakaria won't be starting. Or he doesn't think Zakaria will be starting. I think Zakaria must start. I think Locatelli being suspended doesn't help the helps the situation in terms of Zakaria starting. And I think it's going to be Rabiot, Zakaria, and McKennie to start. And what's your formation versus Verona? Against Verona, I think it's going to be a 4-4-2. Allegri's going to do a 4-4-2. It's not my favorite formation, obviously, but I think that's what he's going to do because there's no Locatelli. I'm telling you guys right now, there is actually no reason why Zakaria and Vlahovic should not start. There's no reason why they need to start on Sunday. Oh, there you go. Justin's in here saying, thank you, sir, for the kind words. Maybe an early day live if I have time. So you heard it from him himself, the man himself. He might do a live tomorrow. Since Justin's in here and this question came up right after he said something, there is a reason why I'm wearing a scarf. I'll tell you my experience before I wrap up here. I'll tell you my experience with Weston McKennie. So I arrived early to the stadium before kickoff, obviously. I wanted to go see the teams as they came in from the buses. I couldn't get to see the Canadian team because all of our fans were obviously at the fence first. or at the little gate area. But once the Canadian team got off the bus and went into the stadium, all the fans left. I was like, perfect. And I was front row. I was leaning over the gate. I was ready. I had my McKennie jersey ready in my hand. I had my Sharpie in my hand. And the Americans started coming off. Pulisic came off. The other guys came off one by one. Dest, Zardes, all them. And then we're like, where the hell's McKennie? And then all the trainers came off. And then, like, he was a diva almost. He was like, a minute goes by, and he's the last one to come off the bus. Headphones in his ears, doesn't look up once. I'm yelling, Weston, come sign my shirt. And he didn't look up once. I was the only guy with a McKennie jersey, Juventus McKennie jersey. Not cool, Weston. Not cool. But they might have been pissed off because some Canadian fans threw a couple snowballs at their bus. But opinions on the game, McKennie's the best center midfielder in CONCACAF. No question about it. So that's my McKennie story and the USA-Canada story from yesterday. And for Morton, why are there some green names? So if a green name is popping up in the chat, that means they are a member of the Bianconeri Zone. Like I've been saying for a lot of times now today, you can become a member of the Bianconeri Zone through the description in the video. And then you become part of our Discord chat. You get, in the future, you'll be able to win some prizes. And yeah, it's a good time. We can chat more. You can give me more names that we can talk about if you join. Every day, not just in a live. And Justin is saying USA in a really rough spot and have flat out regressed. Hopefully not the same as Italy. Oof, that'd be tough. And then Anthony Francesco, yeah, I was there. I was at the game. Yeah, he was in the zone because he was really good yesterday, but alas, Canada was better. Not in midfield, but in the other aspects of the game. It's Justin again. Canadians throw snowballs, West Virginians throw batteries. Yeah, we were hucking snowballs at the not me personally, but other people were hucking snowballs at the US bus. Security didn't do much about it. There was also a guy yesterday that hopped the fence, we were in the stands together, and then he literally just jumped out onto the field and did like the celebration like that in front of McKennie, who was about to take a throw in, and zero security came and took him off the field. Like, the dude just walked away. Weirdest thing ever. I don't know how he didn't get not necessarily arrested, but like I don't know how he didn't get taken out or like tackled or anything. So yeah, I think we're gonna end there. I'll answer this one quickly. Robbie or McTominay? None. I don't even want to pick. They're both garbage. So with that, we're gonna end today. Deadline Day Live. Thank you all for tuning in today. It was a good one. Be happy with the direction of the team. Be happy with the upper management for once. They did what they needed to do. Never. As Beppe said earlier today, we should not question what their intentions are for the club. They all love the club. They want the best for the club. And they surely showed it in this past week. What we can expect for the summer, that remains to be seen. Romeo Gresti says we have some tricks up our sleeve, so we'll look out for that. And to stay up to date with all that stuff, stay tuned to the Bianconeri Zone channel on YouTube by liking and subscribing to the channel. And on Twitter at Bianconeri Zone. And on Instagram, and follow Justin Saforo at Justin Saforo. Follow Alejandro at AlejandroBZ. Follow myself, you see on the ticker there, at Gennady151 for all the latest updates. Ciao. Forza Juve. Now we can talk about real on the pitch stuff.